and welcome to This Is. Today we're gonna piss off a bunch of people. Let's get into it. We are gonna take a look at a bunch of Pro controllers. We looked at a bunch of controllers in the last tier list, but now we're gonna look specifically at the Pro versions of them, and it's gonna make a lot of people. First up, we got the Wolverine from Razer.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put my cards immediately on the table. I'm not a huge fan of Pro controllers personally.
Why aren't you a fan?
Because I think Pro controllers are a clever bit of marketing to convince you that you need to spend egregious amounts of money on controllers that are marginally better. But there is a small gain to be had, and I feel the exact same way about Pro controllers. No one needs one of these, but if you want some nice little, quality of life features, I get it. So I'm gonna be fair and unbiased, even though I mostly think you should just use the controller that came with your control console. This one has the super clicky buttons.
Oh, this for a long time was my favorite controller. When I PC game, I still use a controller because.
You say that you're gonna piss people off, and that's the first thing you say.
Well, because I'm not playing FPSs. But I'm playing like Witcher 3. I'm gonna use a controller. I like a controller. This guy
Awesome
here
judgment.
was great. My only caveat to it was as wired only.
It's also $160.
And you obviously had the remappable buttons on the back.
Yeah.
It had media controls for mic and whatnot on the bottom here built in.
I'm gonna say B.
I'm also gonna
cool.
put that right in the middle for right now. I like having a good clear palette when we get into this. Go ahead and pick one.
All right. Oh, the Switch Pro controller. Wait, this isn't a Pro controller. I mean, I know it says
It's the
Pro.
Switch Pro controller.
It's just a
And
Switch
a lot of
controller.
you yelled at us that it wasn't on the other controller list.
Now, the Pro elements include not being Joy-Cons.
End of list.
If we were judging this based on like regular controllers, this would be pretty low. But if you put it in the context of Pro controllers, and I do think it's a little bit of a nebulous sort of phrase, I actually think it's a much higher just simply because it's only $70, which is a lot of money for a controller. But when half of these controllers are $150 to $200,
No,
this stands
I
out.
have the exact opposite. I mean, yeah, it's priced accordingly when you're comparing it to Pro controllers.
So-
I'm giving this in the context of a Pro controller a C.
I totally agree with C.
It is miles better than the Joy-Con, but zero Pro features. I'm gonna go. Yeah. So this is the Scuf Instinct Pro. By the way, these are actual size. I do have giant hands.
Wow. So this is the first of these controllers I have not tried. Have you tried the Scuf?
I have.
Okay, tell me about it.
So Scuf are weird. Pretty much all of their controllers, they're not actually making a Pro controller. They're modding a regular Xbox controller, regular PlayStation controller, and adding Pro features to it.
These are expensive. How much is this one?
How much do you think it is?
So this is just an Xbox Elite controller competitor, right? $180.
This is where I hate Scuf. $220.
No.
So let me give you the pros of the Scuf besides it being like
why am I
modded.
spending that much money?
The customization on these is absurd.
Okay.
You can get something like 30, 40 different models of this.
Okay.
If you want like the ultimate customized controller, Scuf is probably who you're going to go with.
In a world before like first party Pro controllers, okay, maybe. Now, that's too much money. That is too much money.
I'm going
D?
I was teetering between C and D. If you want D, I'll give you the D.
Okay, can we get a sus counter up for this video, please?
Go ahead and pick one up.
I'm just gonna do a random. Is this the Elite 1 or 2?
That is the Elite 1.
Elite 1. Okay, the Elite 1 was really the first of the first party Pro controllers. It had the little paddles on the back, which you could add. It had a very nice sort of build. I am tempted to give this some points because obviously no one's gonna buy a Series 1 today, right? Like the Series 2 has replaced it. This is the original model.
There's a lot of people who complain about stick drift on these for both the Series 1 and 2. I've never once experienced that on them.
You don't play enough games. No. You need to be
play
playing 10 hours a day.
constantly.
At $150, given the historical context, I actually would make an argument that this is an S tier controller. No, but just hear me out for a second, okay? Before you just shut me down. This set the stage for Pro controllers, right? In my opinion, there were Pro controllers before the Elite controller and after. This forced Sony to make their own.
I can't give it S tier.
Okay, well, why not? Why not?
So like the rumble on it was god awful. It sounded like a bunch of bees were in it. That was what stopped it from being my favorite back in the day.
So you want A?
I'll give it A. I'll compromise with you on A. Next up, we have
Just randomly do it. No, don't look. We have to mix it up. This is like Wheel of Fortune. Oh.
the Thrustmaster.
Oh, we did a video on this one, didn't we?
Not this particular one. We did a video on the Thrustmaster E Swap X, which
Oh, I'm sorry. How could I have possibly gotten those two mixed up? The gimmick on that one was that it has proper like swappable modules, so that you could just drop the whole stick module. It's not just the actual like top part.
For the X. For the S, however, you can only swap the sticks, and that for me takes away all the fun out of this controller.
Also, it looks really ugly.
For 130 bucks, I'm giving this a All right.
This is the Thrustmaster E Swap X. Oh wow, how convenient. This is the controller that we have taken a look at in the past, and I'm gonna say that I like this one a little bit more. It's still kind of gimmicky, right? And mind you, I have not thought about this controller in 3 years since we touched it, so Aaron's probably gonna cut to a clip of me saying something very different than my opinion now because I've forgotten about it.
Wow, that is a big boy. Wow.
As soon as the first-party controllers came out, in my opinion, all the third-party pro controllers needed to justify their existence. Not to say that these were all useless, but like, you had to do something different. You couldn't just be like, oh, I have like swappable sticks or whatever. No, it has to be something properly unique and different. The fact that you could swap out your D-pad and your sticks, you can actually move them around on the controller was cool, right? It's expensive. It was 180 bucks. And I remember it wasn't that difficult to swap.
No,
like,
no, literally boop, boop, with magnets. And you could also do something really stupid. You could actually just have 3 joysticks on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really dumb, but you could do it.
It's really dumb, but we could do it. Is like half the videos we've ever made.
Yeah.
So.
For its ingenuity, I'm giving it a B.
All right, Matt, be great.
The Raikiri from ROG. So this technically is not out yet.
So at CES, we went to the Asus booth, and they had a couple of these out. So there's a Raikiri and a Raikiri Pro.
Yes.
One big caveat with this. I do not believe, as we're recording this video, we have a price on it
We
yet.
do not.
So
We were told, though, it was going to be competitive.
I don't think we can put this insanely high just because there are still some questions. But from the limited hands-on time that we did have,
The comfort level of this,
terrific.
without knowing the price, I'm giving it an A. As soon as I know the price and it's ludicrous, it's going to drop down for me.
I do want to agree with you, but we can't say that the Raikiri is on the same level as the Elite Series 1, right?
It felt amazing in the hand. It was like a good texture.
I will say that this is probably the controller that I am most excited for. Like, this
Yeah.
feels like the most complete overall package. I will say it's an A minus. Can I do an A minus?
Well, all right, fine. I'll give you an A minus.
I will just say something, Matt. There's a conspicuous lack of PlayStation. This is all Xbox. Isn't it?
So here's the problem.
There's one Switch.
There's not a whole lot of pro controllers outside of the Xbox space. A
Are
lot
you
of them.
saying that Sony are anti-competitive and bullies and don't allow other people to use their IP?
Well, I'm glad you talk about that one because I'm going to pick one for you next. We have the Razer Wolverine V2 Pro
Offset sticks?
offset sticks, which is interesting if you're, like, again, if you're a PlayStation gamer. So, like, I appreciate that.
How's the Dualsense rumbly bits?
Not nearly as good as the Dualsense. I will say it is good.
But it's just not quite
not
the same
as
level.
good.
Which,
yeah.
if you're not about the full tactile experience and you just want a pro controller that will have some adjustability and you can have offset buttons and sticks and whatnot, I get it. How much is this controller?
What do you think this is?
$179. What? What do you mean?
It is $250.
No. Why? Wait, let me take a closer look at this.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
My turn?
Yeah.
Okay. The Power A Fusion. This is a controller I will admit I have not tried.
I also have not tried this one.
Okay, so what's the deal with this?
The reason I'm including this on the list without having tested it,
Yeah.
and I'm going to give it a fairly decent score,
Okay.
because of the price.
Okay.
At $73 for this wired pro controller.
Wow. That's like almost the same price as a regular Xbox controller. Now see, I can get behind that. If this is remotely okay, that just seems so much more reasonable. Now mind you, part of the reason why I get a little grumpy about pro controllers sometimes, it just feels like while I understand that it is useful for a small percentage of the market, it feels like a lot of people just feel like they have to go out and spend these huge amounts of money for something which is such a marginal kind of improvement. For this is an actual reasonable amount of money. You can still get the actual like back paddles and some of the like quality of life things, but it's also not going to cost you as much as the damn console itself.
I'm giving that a solid B.
I was thinking B or C. You want a B?
I'll give it a B for the price alone. Bam. Looking at what we have left, we have 4 left here, but I am noticing that we lost one.
We lost one.
I lost one. I don't know where it went. Aaron, what we'll do is we'll just pretend like we're holding it up,
Oh,
and
good Lord.
then we'll just
Aaron is going to murder you if you make him track that to your hand the entire time.
yeah. $200. So here's the thing, the Reflex I would have placed higher up until a week ago. I would have put that in like probably B.
Nah, it's gotta go
But
lower.
now that the edge is out, I'm gonna say C. So Aaron, we'll just slap a boop right there.
I'm gonna be so mad.
Moving on.
The PDP big
Big gaming. PDP big gaming.
Victrix Pro BFG. What that stands for, we'll never know.
Stands for me, big fucking gamer. Kind of the same gimmick as the Thrustmaster, where you can actually swap out modules and whatnot.
Cool.
But it takes it one step further. Are you a big fighting dude who doesn't need a right
Big fighting
stick?
guy. That's me.
Yeah, big fighting guy. You could actually take out the right stick completely and have a fighting pad one with 6 buttons.
All of the PDP controllers I've tried in the past have always been fine as a little brother controller. I would say, having not tried this, I would be a little bit skeptical of the build quality, although would be happy to be proven wrong. How much is the BFG?
$180, which I think is pretty darn good considering how much modularity you get with it, and it is wireless. I'm gonna put it in B-.
Nah, just see. Okay, we're down to the big 3 now.
I'm gonna let you pick.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you
let
pick.
fate decide. It is the Scuf. Wait, this is the Impact Pro. Oh, this is the DualShock 4 version.
Correct.
Right?
They sent us a customized This Is one.
I don't remember.
I'll
this
be
at all.
honest with you, I hate it.
Even though it
like-
says this is?
It's got the logo on it, so like I'm very, very thankful for them of
But
like
you
having
still
this
hate it.
logo. The plastic that they're using, it just doesn't feel good in the hand.
Yeah. You know how much it is?
I believe
It was-
we went for 200.
$200.
Yeah, and so yeah.
There are 2 very auspicious controllers that are absent by their influence in our tier list.
Totally by random and not me
And not-
looking at the back
Look,
of them.
you may have been random. I've been doing this. We can just get the replays of me not looking down. And
I'm
just touching
building
things.
tension. I'm building mystique. I'm building an aura.
Matt, would you like to go?
No, I want you to go. All right.
Dual Sense Edge. Let's go.
The whole reason we decided to do this tier list is because this is just out. We felt like there was finally appropriate time to do a pro controller tier list because of the DualSense Edge.
So,
and I know you are the mayor of Clowntown when it comes to
What?
this device.
What,
yeah.
what does that even mean?
Yeah. I know everything you're going to say, and I'm going to say scoff.
I have spent some time. This will be on a future segment of Mystery Tech that may or may not be live by the time you're watching this. Here's my thought on the DualSense Edge. Very good controller. Battery life, a little bit questionable, but the feel in the hand and everything is pretty much the same as the DualSense. The customization is pretty nice, although I will say they didn't go quite as far as the Elite controller. So you can remap some things, you can adjust like the acceleration on your sticks and whatnot, but largely speaking, this feels like a DualSense with a couple paddles on the back.
He's about to run for re-election of mayor of Clowntown.
No.
This is his campaign video.
This is $200, right?
Look at the makeup forming on his face.
And I will say that while it is a good controller, the battery life is subpar, and I don't think it gives you quite as much. And if you're talking about $200 for a controller, which is only marginally better than the DualSense that comes for free with your PS5, I'm gonna say it's actually pretty.
I would give it an A+.
It's pretty good.
I'd
It's
give
pretty
it
good.
A+. I'm going to move that to an S in 6 months when this goes on sale for $170.
If it does.
It will, because we love the DualSense so much.
Yeah.
So it's hard to put it anything below that period.
It just feels like they coasted a little bit on it. If it would have been a
Well, I
little
mean,
bit
that's
cheaper,
just Sony in general.
yeah,
Like,
a little bit cheaper, a couple of extra little neat bits and bobs, or some slightly nicer feel, or just not terrible battery life, I think it would be S for me.
so that leaves us with one, and that is...
Elite Series 2, boys!
Yeah, this is where it's gonna get controversial because I'm gonna be. First of all, I don't think I have an S tier at all. I think that this is A+.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Hold on.
Matt,
A+.
You haven't even discussed it yet. You can't put it
Yeah.
on the board until we discuss it.
I did it. The reason I think this is A+, not S. The rumble and haptics in these is still garbage. It is bad.
Sure.
But the girth and heftiness of this controller feels so good in my hands. Do you know the pricing of this thing?
I do. You can get the core version for like $130, which is just the controller.
$130.
You can go up to $180 and get the full beans version with all the sticks and
Yeah,
bits
which
and bobs and stuff.
I argue most people wouldn't need. Here, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put these on equal ground.
Okay.
At A+. I think the Edge feels better,
Agreed?
but not $70 more better. Does that make sense?
I will say the DualSense, while it does have some flaws, I actually think is the better controller. Mind you, the Elite Series 2 feels like a very, very well done Xbox Series X controller. Last generation, I thought that the Xbox One had the best controller, period, you could get. I absolutely love that controller, but Sony completely leapfrogged them with the PS5 generation, and Microsoft basically didn't really update the Xbox controller that much this time around. I honestly, if I'm being real, I still like the DualSense regular more than any Xbox controller. But I understand that does
fair.
not have the
That's
pro
fair.
features, right? So
It's not part of this conversation.
exactly, it's not on the list. So honestly, Matt, while you're putting that thing on A+ right off the bat, upset me, I'm actually gonna agree. I think this is a good tier
we
list.
agree on something.
We've got the 3 first parties up top, which way they should be, and then we got everyone else down below.
I like you say the 3 first parties, and there's Nintendo.
It's only on this list because they used the word pro. If they didn't use the word pro, it would not be anywhere else.
Let us know what your tier list is. Let us know how much you hated ours. Like, follow, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.
And that was a lot less contentious. I thought we were gonna come to blows, Matt.